Good evening, everybody. 大家晚安. How are you? Hope you're all well. Today is Sunday, the 10th of August, here in Berkeley, California, and I am covering the lecture from City of 10,000 Buddhas on a Sunday night here. 今天是8月10号，在加州这里，万佛上城。那么是11号在亚洲，在澳大利亚，星期一中午。So we are about to launch into our regularly scheduled exposition of the Ten Transferences chapter. And last week I lectured from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tonight I'm back in California. So looking forward to explaining our brand new chapter, the 9th Transference. 上个礼拜就在 Philadelphia， 就 Pennsylvania 州那里讲释回上品。那今天就回来加州，跟大家一起开始这个第9回向十回向品，华严经十回向品的第9回向。All right, should we get started? I will ring the bell 3 times and make 3 half bows, and then Gwyn is going to do our Dharma request tonight. So let's get started here. 我先敲引磬3下，然后Gwyn都要请法。好，一问讯，再问讯，三问讯。Okay, Gwyn, if you'd like to request Dharma, please go ahead and do it now.
恭请大德僧听，为此法会，及一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to live suffering and attempt bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao samputoshe.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao samputoshe.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. 好的。Okay, Gwyn, thank you for the Dharma request. Happy to do so. Let's pick up a banjo and invite the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to appear so we can get their light as we explain the sutra. Here we go. The Pomo people practice spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation here, that is to say, in the Ukiah Valley, Yokeo, on their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years, and today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 我们恭敬地承认，Pomo人是我们寺院所在地的传统叙事者和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬，并且向所有从来没有放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。Bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000劫内，佛法扬万亿国中，共寻其法界和平，利益报他诺护的。There we go. Thank you for that. We have almost 100 friends here with us at the moment. Thank you all for joining in. People who take listening to the Avatamsaka Sutra as nourishment for their spiritual, that part of their lives. Like me, I'm one of them. So Gwen is in Dublin. Our co-host Heng Sure is in City of 10,000 Buddhas. Alec is in Vancouver. Hello, Alec. Alan is back in Ukiah. He was here last night. Anlo is in San Jose. Barbara's in the Ukiah Talmadge area. Binxian's at Shanghai. Bob is here with Friendwood Valley. Brian is listening in. I think that may be Brian from Campbell. Doesn't say. Welcome anyway. Celeste is in Hong Kong. Lin Changqing's in Newbury Park. Zhong Yiguo is in LA. Connie's in Saratoga, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara. Guoju are in Alameda. Cynthia is in Saratoga. Daisy's in Taipei. Daisy's in Calgary. Let's see here. Ni Dingming is in Heilongjiang. Donna is somewhere. She's given us email. Duke Levan's in Montreal. Edna's in Singapore. Elaine's in Castro Valley. Let's see here. Carrie has got a note taker. That's good. Grace is here. Hung Chan is down in HQ. Jan is in Oregon. Jane's in Berkeley Hills. Jenny's in Union City. Jeannie's in Oakland. Jinro Shi's at CTDB. Katie's in Union City. On and on. How wonderful. I can't give everybody's name because there's 100 of us, by golly. Exactly 100. Now there'll be more. But New York City, San Jose, Bay Area, LA, Washington, Guangzhou, Calgary, Oklahoma, Alameda, Virginia, Malaysia, Ukiah, Mountain View, Malaysia, 还有中国各地，我们知道多数呢是东北人。Okay, welcome everybody. 欢迎各位. Super glad you're here. I've just come back from traveling, and I'll be here in California for a couple months before heading back to Australia. We have presets for the deceased coming up in the autumn, which will be spring there. I spent 2 weeks at a music camp learning to play the banjo better and also teaching a class on mindfulness and performance, which is sort of boils down to the stage fright class. If you talk to the folks who come to take part, people who want to want to flatten out, level out that experience of playing music for a second set of ears. When we're practicing in the bedroom just fine, the second person shows up to listen, second set of ears, and another person, and suddenly we tighten our muscles, our breathing gets tight. It's a universal experience, stage fright. So it was teaching tools to appreciate that experience and to find ways to survive, coexist with stage fright. 刚刚从东方回来，从North Carolina 北卡，过2个礼拜在一个音乐林营夏令营，就学习如何弹 banjo， 非常好，这些老师啊很有成绩，很有个性，学的就得了很多，然后第2个礼拜我就教课，就是这个如何表演，用打坐的定力来或者就说修行的这种安心定心来上舞台表演。如果在大众前就紧张，那是很普遍的一个经验。可是我们都学习一些方法、一些法门，能过得去，不必在那儿战战兢兢的，不能开口啊，所以就是很有意思。All right, the class that I taught are these good folks. 这是我的学生，这次各界人士 ，farmers, pastors, 神父、农夫。心理分析家，这个企业家、研究生，婆婆，就说老朋友，还有退休的学校的老师、音乐家，歌手、牧师，还有这些家里管家主妇都对于音乐感兴趣的人。All right, now, what's going on? We have gone through the 8th transference. My goodness, that was all about one idea, 真如, and we learned after studying that 真如 is another name for the magic. It's another name for the spiritual, such as you could use nirvana, you could use bodhi, you could use the Buddha nature or the Dharma nature. All those things also can be translated the same idea as Zhenru. In the West, we call it the sacred, the holy. That's Zhenru. And the whole transference was finding that quality, kind of getting that wavelength, and then transferring merit with it. One of the things that surprised me a lot was how the verses, the repetitive verses, were so powerful. They were didn't seem to relate to the text, to the prose that much. The verses were independently magnificent. Just each one of those verses in the 8th transference could stand on its own as a key to the door of awakening. They were that strong. And the 8th transference was not among the longest of the transferences, the longest of the chapters. Number 6 and number 7 were really long. So we spent a lot of time getting through number 6 and number 7, months and months and months. But we've finished number 8 in just a matter, like 2 months. Now number 9 is relatively short as well. And I have to say, at the first crack at it, it's going to take some digesting to be able to. It's number 9 out of 10. It's really, really up there. It's subtle, but for sure it has to do with dedicating merit. It's just another level, and it's very subtle. 我们今天晚上开始讲第9回向，那个第8回向，就真如孙真如相回向，这个真如也是涅槃，也是菩提，也是佛性，这些最高最究竟的佛法的道理，就是我们人心的一部分，那个部分。我们讲解几个礼拜，就是我说几个月就讲完了，不是很长。第6、第7回向，哎呀，真的相当长，我们花了好几个月才讲完了。第8回向没有多久了就讲完了。第9回向呢是无着无缚解脱心回向，懂不懂？不懂。可能要好像衣服，新的衣服，你一穿上还是不是自己的，要穿了一会儿就比较认识，比较舒服，比较合适所以这个回向呢是第9个，当然很高。就差一个是究竟的第10回向，哎呦，所以就说让我们试一试几个礼拜，我们才能真正就说认识这个无着无缚解脱心回向是那个宗旨在哪里？肯定是对于回向有关的是这样回向这个法门OK。So we know what? We know that it's about transference. The name of it is 无着无缚解脱心. It's a very poetic name. The liberated mind that is not attached nor bound up. Of course, I looked at the commentary, and commentary needs a commentary for me because I'm pretty slow. But it's about a mind that is not attached, the mind that is not bound up, the mind that is liberated. Can you transfer merit from that place? If you can, you've got the spirit of this transference. 你就用一种解脱心，怎么样的解脱心呢？无着无缚的解脱心。用那个来回向你的回向功德，你的回向的力量相当强，能不能做到吗？看看哈。Ready? Okay. Let's start from the top, and you can read along with me. I won't be able to hear you, but you can definitely read along. 大方广佛华严经十回向品第25之9，无着无缚解脱回向。The Avatamsaka Sutra, Chapter 25, the 10 Dedications, Part 9. The 9th dedication, the dedication of liberation free from attachments and bonds. The dedication of unattached, unbound liberation, says Heng Sure. So this Chinese can be translated 2 different ways, definitely. So it's 解脱, it's a 回向, it's a dedication, a transference. What kind? A liberated 解脱, set free, a liberated transference. What kind? No ties, no attachments, liberated 回向。OK， 这个回向解脱了。什么样解脱呢？ 是无福解脱的回向。怎么样无福解脱回向？是无着无福解脱回向。Okay? We will go down to, we'll go down to here. Okay? Here we go. 佛子云何为菩萨摩诃萨无着无福解脱回向？佛子是菩萨摩诃萨，于一切善根心生尊重。所谓于出生死心生尊重，于摄取一切善根心生尊重，于希求一切善根心生尊重，于回诸过业心生尊重，于随喜善根心生尊重。That's a nice Chinese tongue twister. 心生尊重。Disciples of the Buddha, what is the Bodhisattva Mahasattva's dedication of liberation free from attachments and bonds? Disciples of the Buddha, Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas are most respectful to all good roots. They respect the resolve to transcend the cycle of birth and death. They respect the resolve to gather all good roots. They respect the resolve to seek all good roots. They respect the resolve to repent of all wrongdoing. They respect the resolve to rejoice in good roots. Okay, another version. Are we ready? Sons of the Buddha, what then is meant by the Bodhisattva Mahasattva's dedication of unattached and unbound liberation? Sons of the Buddha, this Bodhisattva Mahasattva reveres all roots of goodness. That is to say, he, could be she, reveres emancipation from samsara, reveres the gathering of all roots of goodness, reveres the aspiration to acquire roots of goodness, reveres repentance of all karmic transgressions, reveres joyful accordance with all roots of goodness. All right, big difference, big difference. This is good to have another version, right? So, Chinese. So, here's the way it goes. It's regarding an object, then the refrain. Mind creates reverence. Mind creates revering, respect heavy. 尊重, so values. Mind creates respect and value. 4 times. Mind respects. 尊重, reveres. Mind produces respect. Mind gives birth to reverence, weighty. See the same? 心生尊重, 4 times. There's 6 more. But we'll just start with this because that's where the English page breaks. So there are 4 things that this Bodhisattva, 5 things that this Bodhisattva reveres. And it's coming out of birth and death, collecting good roots, seeking roots of goodness, repenting of karmic mistakes, and then being happy with rejoicing in others' good roots. All right, those are all recognizable qualities of a good heart. And with those, towards those things, mind creates reverence weighty, word by word. Heng Sure says, reveres, one word. This translator said, respects the resolve, respects the resolve, respects the resolve. And while using they is better than he, because they is gender neutral, to respect a resolve is strange. So here it's kind of, if you were with somebody else who has made the great Bodhi resolve, has had that thought in their minds and recognized it and nurtures it, you go, I respect that thought in your mind. But do you respect the resolve in your own mind? No, it has to be another party. Otherwise, it's just weird. It's awkward, right? I'm going to respect my resolve to do the good things here. So Heng Shure's got it right. Reveres. It's not a resolve. Mind reveres gathering good roots. Mind, so reveres, just not even mind, reveres seeking goodness, wanting to do good. The mind you revere, he really respects and reveres and values repenting of mistakes, karma, right? So I much prefer Heng Shure's version to this. To respect or resolve is Chinglish. It's not home yet. It's not done. Okay. Xin, sheng, respect, resolve. That's not there. So, okay. So you could say this bodhisattva reveres all these good things. All right. It's a statement of what he values, what she values. 就说翻译英文有两个，这个恒寿法师Bhikkhu Dharma Mitra Kalavinka，我觉得翻译正确。这个呢有一点生硬，to respect the resolve， 尊重你发的心，不会尊重自己发的心。不会这么说，所以应该有第二个人发这么一个心，发菩提心呢，发这5种的心呢，我就心里尊重那个人，是吗？不是，这个恒寿法师翻译就说，他就尊重出生死，他尊重谁摄取善根。他就尊重，非常重视求一切善根，很尊重就是尊敬悔过的人你能随喜善根，他就尊重你，可以了，那就可以了。Okay, all right. Let's do the next bunch. Here we go. Moving along. 与礼敬诸佛，心生尊重。与合掌恭敬，心生尊重；与顶礼塔庙，心生尊重；与劝佛说法，心生尊重；与如是等种种善根，皆生尊重，随顺认可。All right, he's a good guy, this person. They respect the resolve to honor all Buddhas. They respect the resolve to pay homage with joined palms. They respect the resolve to bow to stupas. They respect the resolve to request the Buddhas to teach the Dharma. They respect these various kinds of good roots and accord with them. Same reflection, which is, this is awkward and not quite there yet. Heng Sure says, reveres bowing in reverence to all Buddhas. Yeah. The resolve to honor all Buddhas? No, bowing. Li Jing Zhu Fo, that's the first of Samantabhadra's vows. Li Jing Zhu Fo Cheng Zan Ru Lai. So he reveres bowing in reverence to the Buddhas, reveres placing palms together in respect. Yeah. Reveres bowing down in reverence at stupas and temples. Got it. Reveres entreating the Buddhas to speak the Dharma. Okay. Requesting, asking. Entreating is fancy. Reveres the many different kinds of roots of goodness, such as these, and both accords with and approves of them. So, the Bodhisattva on the 9th transference is a supporter of other people's good deeds. When she sees other people cultivate, doing good, they're happy. They're really happy. I was walking through the Atlanta airport, and boy, was it busy. Whew, Atlanta is a Hartsville, it's a double name. And the corridors are just full of people. There was one quiet area, and here was someone who looked like a service personnel. He was employed by the airport. But he had a space blanket. He had an insulated silver blanket. It was on the ground, and he was looking at the proper direction, and then he bowed. He was doing Islamic prayers in the airport at the right time of day. And there was a really good feeling about it. It just felt, here is somebody whose values, who wants to talk to God even though they're at work. It's good for you, man. I will defend strongly your ability to do that. So the last time I saw somebody performing Islamic prayers in Arabic in the airport, it was Professor Houston Smith. I was in the Denver airport, this was years ago, and it was a quiet cul-de-sac. I was looking for a place to sit down and wait for my flight. And here was someone with their shoes off, had their hands washed, and they were pointing east and praying in Arabic. Professor Houston Smith, the Methodist professor from UC Berkeley and Graduate Theological. What a wonderful thing to see. 就说这位菩萨呢，他就随喜功德，他看到人做善，他就赞成认可，他就随喜。无论他看到别人做善事，他就欢喜了，然后他就去支持，他就支持这个人。好比说呢，上个礼拜我就在亚特兰大机场走过去，哇，人山人海，那个机场非常忙，也有很充实，很多人多了。就我要找我的那个登机门，又走过去一个地方比较安静一点，可是那边有个人，他就把一个好像 space blanket， 就是一种绝缘的毯子，绝缘体那个毯子，他就放在地下，然后这个人他就看看方向，就开始拜下去，用阿拉伯文祈祷。他是伊斯兰教徒，就在机场那里祈祷。他看起来他穿的衣服可能是那边打工的人，他就趁机会每天5次跟上帝讲话，祈祷。我非常赞成，因为那个地方，这个人在那儿祈祷很安静，就有一种正气在那儿，所以我也随喜这个人这样做。有一次，大约10几年前，我有看到类似的情形，就在 Denver 那个机场，我要找一个地方坐，等我的飞机来了，就看到有人这样做，有个地毯已经洗手，他就拜下去，然后用阿拉伯文念这个伊斯兰教的祈祷。是谁呢？是这个基督教徒老教授 Houston Smith 教授，他用阿拉伯文祈祷，像伊斯兰教的样子。他是信伊斯兰教的，是；他信佛教的，是；他是不是印度教徒？是。他也是一辈子做美教的这个基督徒，就信仰这么大，很有意思。所以时间到了，他就在 Denver 的那个飞机场，在那儿用阿拉伯文祈祷，很有趣。So we have to think, how about this bodhisattva? Look at the things he likes, she likes. Getting out of birth and death, that's important. How about you? Did you have that thought today? That how wonderful it would be if you didn't have to worry about birth and death? You could come and go even if when you die, your mind is completely at ease because you know you'll be right back. That would be real transcendence. It's not that your body didn't die, it's that your mind didn't move. How wonderful that would be. 你看这个菩萨，他的价值观，他那个怎么说轻重，他对人生种种的问题，哪一个排到第一，他所关心的。这生死，各位今天有没有想到生死这个问题？这是最大的病痛。有没有这么一个念头？有人就说：“哎呀，你怎么沉闷呢？你要清醒，要解脱一点呢，不要一天到晚真的想死啊！哇，那个这个郁闷呢，忧郁症，不是这个话啊。你就说，哎，这个问题是很大的，那么不一定与出生死心生尊重，就说我希望这个身体不死，那个就像一个贤人，那个道教的不是，就说死来了，临命终的时候你不忧愁，为什么呢？你知道死了之后马上回来，如果你发菩萨的愿，不然的话你就到了极乐世界去往生好了。也可以啊，所以就不是说与出生死，你就说哎呀，宁愿不死，宁愿不死，不是，连佛陀也是入涅槃，就说身体走了，可是呢，灵魂这个实心马上回来继续发愿，继续修行，那就不一样了啊。Okay, what else? So this bodhisattva doesn't care that much about death because either she's working on their vows and they want to come back as soon as possible to continue the bodhisattva path, life after life, or they know that they're on their way to Amitabha's Pure Land, without a doubt. So, fine, just whenever the time comes, they're ready. Yeah, that's worthy of zunzhong, worthy of reverence. So when he sees people gathering good roots, that means doing good deeds. They are happy. When they see people planning to do good, they revere that. This is what's important, not how wealthy are they or what kind of car they drive, what kind of watch they wear. When they see people willing to clean up inside, to unburden themselves with mistakes and not dwell on mistakes, they are happy. They are glad when they see people doing good. Sounds easy, but you know Schadenfreude, right? That turn of mind that is happy when people you don't like get in trouble. That's the exact opposite of this. Sometimes you just kind of wish that occasionally people would be punished for misdeeds. But when it happens, if you don't feel the slightest empathy for people's suffering, then you haven't got the bodhisattva's heart yet. 有的人呢，就说看到你不喜欢的人呢，就碰钉子，就人倒霉的时候，你就欢喜了，那就是这个菩萨这种的态度的相反，是不是？这里呢，人的好事你就更多欢喜，增长你的欢喜随喜。那么，如果大家碰到不幸的情形，你就高兴呢，那就恐怕比不了了啊。So 还有什么？然后这是普贤菩萨十大愿望里边的，礼敬诸佛合掌恭敬就可以了顶礼塔庙不是像佛顶礼，就像佛的舍利子或者佛像顶礼就欢喜了全说法经转法轮就是一样的，如是等种种善根就尊重了 So look at this. We're moving into Samantabhadra's practices and vows. Bowing to the Buddhas, that's the first one. Palms together, showing respect, that's another one. Bowing not to Buddhas, but to Sharira and to Buddha images, that's another one. He sees that, he's happy. When he's encouraging the speaking of Dharma, this is one of Samantabhadra's vows, turning the Dharma wheel. All kinds of good deeds like this, he's happy, and he approves and supports. Now, Master Chengguan mentions in his commentary, he says, this one here, it's the Lotus Sutra, and because the Tang Dynasty commentary, it's really easy to see that this, our teacher, Master Chengguan, was really well read in Buddhism, because he quotes the Lotus Sutra, and he quotes the Vajra Sutra, and all kinds of the Vimalakirti and all. He's really well read. He says, he quotes the Lotus Sutra where the Buddha says, if you raise a hand in respect or even nod your head in respect to the Buddha or to the Sangha or to a sutra, the Dharma, you will become a Buddha. That's the power of our Buddha nature wanting to emerge. It's true, it's real, it's full of light, and the things that cover our Buddha nature are not fundamental. They're like clouds over the sun in the sky. Behind those clouds, the sun is shining. When the clouds break through and vanish, then you see the original state. Our Buddha nature is bright and full of light and just luminous, but what covers it are the habits that we develop over the years, and yet they're not fundamental. So when we raise a hand in respect, if we put our palms together in front of the Buddha, bow our head, if we say Namo Pho, that is enough of a seed to plant in our nature to allow it to emerge as a Buddha in the future. It's just a matter of time. In Australia, I have a blacktop driveway. It's called bitumen, they say in Australia, blacktop. And it's thick. It's a big, thick layer of real good blacktop. And even though it's thick and strong, there are spots where a green sprout of a gentle green plant has pushed its way up through it and broken through these inches of blacktop. When I see it, I think, wowee, there are some things that are just the strongest in the world, and that urge to life of a gentle, soft green sprout can work its way right through the hardest of coverings. True for our nature as well. So he says, when he sees somebody with palms together in respect, he is delighted, because he knows that's going to arrive at Buddhism at some point. 看到这个清凉果实的这个华严素抄，虽然是唐朝的东西，是1400年前，这个他呢就阅读所有的所在的佛经，在那个时候，他常常提到《法华经》金刚经》维陀诘基经。其他的经书他都读过了，他对这种的行为，然后菩萨欣赏尊重呢，他就说，对了，《法华经》就说，你如果举手就提手，在那儿要合掌，然后你就鞠躬，你就温馨点头，都可以了。你说南无佛够了。你将来就是一个早晚的事，你将来都会成佛。 怎么会敢那么说吗？因为他认识这个佛性在你的心，在我的心，是这么力量，这么大的力量。就到时候，因为遮盖这种佛性的光明，是一些假的东西妄想执着，就像云彩遮盖太阳，看不到阴天，看不到太阳，不是说太阳不在，就说这个云彩在那儿就遮盖了。时间久了，它就散了。哦，原来那个光明出来了。我们的佛性也是，你就合掌恭敬呢，够了，那个种子到时候都会发了。在 Australia， 我的跑车道在我的房子外边，很厚很厚的，就是那种blacktop， 就是黑色的这种泥，很重很厚。可是呢，有几个地方软软的，一个植物，小小的植物，透过那个石头出来了，要照太阳。那个植物呢非常软，就像几个叶子而已。可是呢，它的力量，它的生存这种精神这么强，它会穿过石头就出来了。啊，我们的佛性也是，所以看到人合掌恭敬呢，心生尊重。Okay. You've all been really good. Got a story. I like this one. I saw this reported 3 or 4 different places. And my favorite good news site is Karuna News, right? Karuna News. So here's Karuna News. Tiny pet dog credited with helping to save hiker trapped in Swiss glacier. This is a little papillon, a little butterfly dog. Tiny, tiny. Look at the story. Imagine you're walking through the Swiss Alps, and suddenly you find yourself, you're seeing a little dog by a crevasse. A hiker fell into an 8-meter, that's a 24-foot deep hole in the ice, a crevasse. And he was traveling with his dog, tiny, a papillon, they're just this big. And a helicopter, when the guy hadn't come back after a day, a helicopter went out, and all they saw was this glacier. It's slanted, but it was flat. But there was something there that was different from the snow. It was a little dog. And there was the dog standing on the edge of the crevasse, the edge of the hole in the ice, and waiting, just looking down, barking, looking around, didn't move a day and a night. And the helicopter had to drop a line with a rescuer on it and then go down into the crevasse and pull him out. And the dog, no doubt, saved the life of his master. 这是这个小小的狗，这叫蝴蝶狗。它呢，跟它的主人，它的人，就在瑞士，在那儿爬山，爬冰山，然后不小心那个人就掉到24尺深的一个坑，那个狗啊就停在那儿，要 bark， 就不走，就在上边看看它的主人在下边。他们过了1天1夜没有回来，派一个直升机在那儿，那个直升机是高山过了，很平，看不到什么。然后呢，有个东西在那儿，什么小小的，就接近了。一条狗啊，那只狗在那儿要，然后他们那个人掉到一个坑里边了，就下一个绳子，那个人下来了，直升机就到那个坑里边了，把那个人拉下来了。他们说这只狗肯定在那儿救它的主人的生命。Definitely did. I've seen the video. Here's the hole. And look at the dog. There's the dog. That's what they saw. here's the hole where the guy fell in. So they say a chihuahua, but it's not. It's a papillon. The hiker had a walkie-talkie, which he used to call for help. They was able to get close. But how do you find him at 3,200 meters high, way up in the air? So 3 rescue specialists went out to the glacier, but the collapse site was hard to find because the glacier is very broad and the tiny little hole. And then somebody looked over and saw the dog. He was barking from a perch on the hole, next to the hole, and they abseiled, you know that word, down into the hole while the dog supervised. So that's one of the stories, this tiny little dog, faithful. So there, 心生欢喜, right? 人可赞叹随喜, right? So your mind rejoices. What a happy story to have this faithful dog just do the right thing to save his master. There he is. Look at the size of the dog and the size of the hole. 哎呦，小小的一只狗啊，就那个爬山的人有一个无声这个直升那个怎么说walkie talkie 那个直播无线电，然后告诉他们他掉下来，可是呢那个冰山呢很宽很广大，很不好找，所以直升机可以飞过去就看不到，那个洞很小，那个坑。可是看到刚好3个人里边一边看到，诶，那边有东西了，一只狗，哦，然后找到了。这个人呢，出生生死心生尊重。Yeah, so rejoicing in leaving birth and death. Mind reveres that. Thank you to who? Thank you to Karuna News for good stories like this one. Let's do one more here. It's good to know that crime in the United States is down. FBI says in every category, crime in 2024 dropped 4.5%. The property crimes, cars and theft and things, the lowest since 1961. This is a Los Angeles Police Department Chief of Detectives. Murders decreased 14.9%. Robbery, 8.9%. Car thefts went down 18%. Hate crimes are on the up, are declining, but there are new kinds of crimes with computers, etc. So that's a good. Here's 还有这个好消息，就是说美国的话，造罪，犯法造罪，在每一种就会降落。去年2024，就说杀伤少了14%，偷东西8.9%，就偷车子18.6%，这好消息，好像大家有旁的事情要注意，不一定要偷东西了，不一定要犯法。Maybe people are so upset by everything else that's going on, they can't think of any reason to go out and commit crimes. They're too overwhelmed with everything else that's happening. So, yeah, maybe so. Okay. Let's see here. There we go. Ooh. We ready? 如来，南无广波圣如来，南无礼不为如来，南无甘露王如来，南无阿弥陀如来。再来，南无多宝如来，南无宝生如来，南无妙色身如来，南无广波圣如来，南无礼不为如来，南无甘露王如来，南无阿弥陀如来。We have to do it one more time. 我们再来一次。南无多宝如来，南无宝生如来，南无妙色身如来，南无广波圣如来，南无礼不为如来，南无甘露王如来。最后一个名字，南无阿弥陀如来。Just hearing those 7 Tathagata's names, 心生尊重, we feel, we revere chanting the Tathagata's names. Yes, indeed. Hey, let's get back to our sutra. Here we go. Okay, let's see what is being said. Okay, we'll go down to this. This is the setup for the dedications that go through the rest of the chapter. Okay, right to there. So wait, ready? 佛子菩萨摩诃萨于彼善根，皆生尊重，随顺人可识，究竟心乐，坚固信解，自得安住。令他安住，勤求无着，自在积极，成圣至乐。再来，对不起，成圣至乐，住如来境，势力增长，习得之见，以助善根，如是回向所谓。Okay. Disciples of the Buddha, Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas respect such good roots, and when they accord with them, they attain ultimate bliss and resolute faith. While settling themselves in peace, they also bring peace to others. Diligently cultivating non-attachment, they accumulate good roots through self-mastery. Having perfected supreme aspirations, they abide in the Tathagata state. Thereafter, their power develops, its growth is visible to all. With these good roots, they make the following dedications. Okay, here we go. Sons of the Buddha, when the Bodhisattva Mahasattva reveres all these roots of goodness, accords with them, and approves of them, he, she, experiences the most ultimate happiness and steadfast, resolute faith in them, becomes securely established in them, and enables others to become securely established in them. He diligently cultivates non-attachment to them and freely accumulates them. He develops supreme determination, comes to abide in the sphere of the Tathagata, gains increasing strength, and attains the knowledge and vision of them all. Then, in the following ways, he dedicates all his roots of goodness. Okay, the phrasing, somehow I get the impression that Heng Sure Fashi has got a thorough grasp of this text. Just it knits together, where he says, when he reveres these roots of goodness, accords with them and approves of them, when he sees goodness and gets happy because of that, he sees other people doing good and he's happy. What happens is he experiences ultimate happiness and steadfast, resolute faith. He becomes securely established in goodness and enables others to do the same. What occurs to me is, imagine if, as part of our education, every child was shown how to do good and then experienced the feeling of happiness that comes from securely establishing yourself in goodness. And when I think of that, I think, well, why not? Why don't we do that? How come people follow greed? And how come people learn how to kill and learn how to make others hurt and allow that to be the standard, to get away with that and suffer as a result? The answer is, welcome to the Saha world. There are worlds happening right this minute elsewhere in the Dharma realm where people do good and rejoice in others' goodness. They become steadfast in their goodness. That's not our world. But you can visualize it when you see passages like this. And it's translated the way Heng Sure does it. Why not? And probably there is not a single parent in the world who, after their child is born, thinks, boy, I hope my kid really learns how to do evil. I really hope they suffer a lot. I'm looking forward to having them learn how to be miserable. Parents don't think that way. They look at that tiny, tiny being and think, may every living being, their minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. I want my child to be happy. I want them to everything good to lead this child's life. But then the other stuff in the nature comes out, the greed, the anger, the delusion, the pride, the doubt, the harm, and karma, Whew. 就听到华严经解释菩萨的态度，他们的之间在回向的时候，他们就尊重其他人的善，结果他们做善就究竟他们知道这个快乐，就坚固信解不动。自得安住，令他安住。如果每一个孩子读书的时候，如果心还没有得到安住，你就也不能毕业。这是课程，就是你的心得在教育方面。如果德行就这么深厚，因为这个关系就欢喜心得到心乐，这个世界会不一样了。哪一个父母看看孩子刚刚出来了，就说希望这个孩子赶快知道辛苦，知道这个苦恼，够受烦恼深重，希望如此。没有了，父母就看到孩子就说，希望这个孩子就快乐、平安，欢喜满足，一切如意吉祥，就会这么说，这么想。可是呢，没有多久了，烦恼来了，业障来了，习气毛病来了，我们就受苦。为什么？当然，因为堪忍世界、娑婆世界就这样子，有50-50， 50%苦恼，50%娱乐。同时，就现在法座的这个法界里边有其他的世界，完全 像方才解释，就是快乐，不会忧愁，就说自得安住，令他安住，就因为那个这么一个世界里边住的人的业报就是这个有的地方比我们娑婆世界更辛苦，更不好住，也是因为里边住着人的业障就显现这样子，招引这种果报。So, my goodness, what a bodhisattva does, as I understand it, is even though they are living in a world like the Saha world, where things are suffering, they still can have their hearts be absolutely unmoved. And if they see living beings doing the slightest bit of goodness, they are absolutely overjoyed and happy. 菩萨的特别呢，他们虽然住在一个就说辛苦苦恼的世界，他们自己菩萨的心肠、菩萨的心地不会动、不会改、不会变的。看到众生做丝毫的善，他们一样的欢喜、赞叹、认可。所以真的就说坚固的菩提心的菩萨，哇，不一样，不一样。So to be a real bodhisattva with that kind of stable, solid bodhi resolve, not easy, not easy. It's very easy to get discouraged. It's very easy to become cynical. Yep. Important to really have the heart of a bodhisattva. 真的发坚固菩提心呢，不容易做到。Yes, indeed. Okay, now we will go to the following dedicate. We'll start with the 回向 next week. Right there. 下个礼拜我们从这个回向就开始。Let's do a yellow, blue. There it is. Okay. These are prayers. Notice, let's see, I want to get people looking and thinking about this. 以什么心? What kind of 心? They using with or taking a attitude, a mind state. Which one? 无着无缚解脱. No attachments, no bonds, no ties, liberated attitude. How many times do we see this? Take a look. Over and over and over and over and over. That's the substance of this transference, that phrase. Bodhisattvas with an attitude of liberation, free from things that you cling to and things that tie you up. Then they go do things. There's the verb. Okay? 从这里开始，这个回向就是菩萨以一个心，什么样的心？没有执着，没有缚着，解脱了。这么一个心去做事，去修行，回向很多次，很多次，很多次。从这里开始，第9回向就是这个话：以无着无缚解脱心去修行，然后回向。Let's see how our 2 translators do it. May all accomplish Samantabhadra's practices, not conduct, with a liberated mind free from attachments and bonds. using the mind of the unattached and unbound liberation to perfect the physical actions of Samantabhadra. Yeah. So using the mind of the unattached, unbound liberation, that's very different. Accomplish conduct with a liberated mind free from attachments and bonds. Yeah, we need to get clear on, is it a liberation as an object, as a thing? That's what I get from Heng Sure, that the something something liberation, as if it's a state, kind of like a samadhi. Or is it more generic, more ordinary, a liberated mind that happens to have no attachments and nothing it's clinging to, nothing that ties it up. We will investigate that. 那个英文有2个不同的看法在翻译这个，我们下个礼拜回来在那儿研究 Okay? Figure out which one is right. Okay, hey, we have some time to look at Master Xuanzang. Okay. Last week we heard about the Buddha's image that was carved when people on the earth missed the Buddha because he went to the Tristrimsha heaven to speak Dharma for his mother. So Madhyayana, using his psychic power, sent an artist, a sculptor, to the Tristrimsha heaven, to the Tushita heaven, he says, and as the story goes, and saw the Buddha, came back and carved an image of him. And then when the Buddha returned to the earth, the image was there waiting for him. That was the first Buddha image. We heard about that last week. 上个礼拜听到这个故事，玄奘大师到了这个地方，离那兰陀大学没有多远啊。就那个地方是什么地方？就是释迦牟尼佛，快要入涅槃，他提前有事情，他就到天上33天，他母亲住的地方，就为母亲讲经说法，离开人间几个月。那么人间的佛弟子很想念他们的世主世尊，就请目犍连用他的神通，不是目犍连，是对了，目犍连神通第一，就把一个艺术家，一个雕刻师傅送到天上，看看佛陀在哪里，回来雕刻佛像，第一尊佛像，然后佛陀又下来了，看到他的这个佛像，就有话说，很有意思哈，就是这个地方。城南不远有个伽蓝，即长者之园地，中有苏都波高200余尺，无有王所造。Let's see. Here we go. 城南有故宅，是居士罗长者故居也。城南不远有伽蓝，长者的之园地，中有苏都波高200尺，很高，无有王所造。The ruins of a house in the south of the city was the residence of the elder Goshila. Not far away was an old monastery. Built in the garden of the elder was a stupa 200 feet high. You know how high 200 feet is? I mean, most houses are, the ceiling of your room is probably at the very most 15 feet, maybe 12 feet, times 10. That's a huge stupa. King Ashoka, oh boy, King Ashoka built it. Yep. He's getting warm. He's very close to his goal, to find the place where the sutras are. 自东南重阁，世事清造为是论处。此东岸莫罗林有故基，是无照菩萨作咸阳论处。 To the southwest stood a storied building, the place where Vasubandhu composed the Vijñapta Matrati Siddhi Shastra. Still further to the east, in a mango grove, were the ruins of a building in which Asanga Bodhisattva composed the Prakarana Aryavacha Shastra. Prakarana Aryavacha Shastra. Xianyang Lun. Okay. Prakarana Aryavacha Shastra. Lots of ahs. How many ahs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 A's in one. Prakarana Aryavacha Shastra. Asanga Wuzhao Pusa. And who else? Shiqin Wuzhao, 就是兄弟，他们这个地方. This is where the two brothers, Vasubandhu and Asanga, wrote their commentaries. Very cool. How cool is that? 从此东行500余里，至毕所迦国，伽蓝20余所，僧3000许人，学小乘正量部. From here, traveling east for 500 li, the master reached the country of Vishoka, in which there were 20 monasteries with 3,000 monks who studied the teachings of the Theravada Samitya school, the northern bank of the Gumti River to the north of Lucknow. Here we go. Are we ready? Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. Here we are. Okay, to the north of Lucknow. So, right here. This is where he's coming. This is Master Xuanzang's path, and he's heading. Here's Ayodhya. Kapilavastu is here. Let's see, what else is here? Lucknow. Varanasi is here. Okay, Bihar. This is Nalanda. Here's Bodh Gaya, right there. Okay, Putishu, 就在这里. So he is, Lucknow is here. You can see how close. 这个菩提树就在这里 Nalanda 大学，这是他的目的地，他快到了 Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. Đông南道左有大伽蓝，是悉提婆舍末阿罗汉造是身足论，说无我忍。居波阿罗汉作圣教要识论，说有我忍。因此法执随身正论。In a large monastery on the east side of the road, southwest of the capital, the Arhat Devasharman composed the Vijnana Kaya Pada Shastra, in which he denied the existence of the self and the non-self. And the Arhat Gopa wrote the treatise on the essential realities of Buddhism, affirming the existence of the ego and non-ego. Thus, serious controversies arose between the followers of these two opposite doctrines. Okay, now, why do we care about this? Because what did Master Xuanzang come to India for? Exactly these things. This is what he was hoping to find, because they didn't exist in China. And he is in the birthplace of the Shastra tradition. To have Vasubandhu and Asanga, you can say, oh, look, this is where they wrote these famous Shastras. That's to say, so 300 years before Master Xuanzang arrived, there were great disciples of the Buddha writing really important Buddhist works there. That's what he came for. 我们为什么要知道这些细节呢？ 因为这就是玄奘大师到印度来找的是这些论因为中国没有，他希望可以把这个佛国的精神带回去中国，所以有这些地方呢，就世亲菩萨还有无着菩萨他们所写的论文就在这个地方，哇，他就非常注意哈。OK， let's see here。又是护法菩萨7日中，垂福小圣100论释处其侧，又有如来6年说法处，有一树高70余尺，习佛印净尺，气其余之，随之根，繁茂之金，血见之土，数来残伐，随发随生，容貌入本。All right. In a large monastery on the east side, it was also the place where Dharmapala Bodhisattva defeated 100 Hinaya Shastra masters in 7 days. India is the place where people debate. 印度就是争辩的、争论的一个地方。Beside it stood the place where the Tathagata preached the Dharma for 6 years. Nearby was a tree more than 70 feet high, from which the Buddha once plucked a twig, cleaned his teeth, and after using it, threw it on the ground. The abandoned twig took root in the earth, grew, and flourished. Heretical people often came to cut it, but it grew and flourished until the present day. All right. So, here we have legends. Dharmapala Bodhisattva taking on 100 opponents in debate and winning, out-debating them. Just how do you judge such a thing? But he did it, and it was common in India at the time. It was how you proved the value of your teaching and how you got disciples. 就说辩论在印度那个时候，你怎么证明这个人圣，这个人属，很难。不过就是这个方法，你就得到土地，你就出名了，成名了所以辩论很重要，那个时候还有这是一个奇迹，这个故事佛陀用一个英文叫 tooth wood， 就是牙刷，用树枝子，特别 neem 这种木材很苦味非常苦，你就用那个来小小的一个枝，你就等于牙刷，不用牙膏，你就那个牙齿还有这个 gums 那个口里边都会比较健康，不会牙齿里边都有问题了那个叫 neem 这种苦木就可以了那么他用完了，把这个枝子掉到地下，刚好一棵树长起来了。有人来看了好几次，讨厌佛法的人来看，希望可以消灭。那棵树又回来了。Yeah, so it's in place of a miracle. The Buddha used neem wood, Neem, really bitter, super, super bitter. But if you use a branch of neem wood to run between your teeth or the gums, it keeps cavities away. It's a very healthy thing for oral hygiene, and it's been the source of toothbrushes for Buddhist monks ever since the Buddha's time. Don't need toothpaste, you just use neem wood. They call it a tooth wood, and you use it, and you keep tooth decay away. But the Buddha dropped the branch on the ground, and a tree grew, just like that. So, super auspicious. The power of the Buddha's saliva. And enemies of the Dharma came along and tried to cut the tree down, and it grew right back. Yes, indeed, we love those miracles. Great stories. That's what he came for. Master Xuanzang is absolutely getting the fruits of his travels. Boy, oh boy. Here we go. Highlights. There it is. We'll be back next week to dig into the ninth transference. 我们下个礼拜又回来第9回向，我们就研究，继续研究。欢迎大家参加了。May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. We're going to end with bows to Guanyin Pusa. Welcome to join me. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you all next week. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. Bow to our teacher. That'll do it for us for this week. Thank you all for joining. 好了，我们下个礼拜再见，各位阿弥陀佛。我们继续研究10回向品第9回向。
Thank you, Master.
阿弥陀佛，You're welcome.